everyone. My name is Mike Aaron Hersterbaumer. I am from XTIVIA, and thank you for joining us for another edition of our CRM Snacktime Snippets. Joining me is one of my regular counterparts and colleagues here at XTIVIA, Zach Bodine, the Vice President of CRM within XTIVIA. And today, what we are going to talk about is similar to some of our previous CRM Snacktime Snippet entries. Is another one of these Salesforce products, which is, I would probably argue, is maybe their second most popular product. Zach may say differently these days, but that is their Salesforce Service Cloud component. You hear Service Cloud, you can think of a bunch of different things. What does that mean? What part of the business does that touch on? Zach's really going to get into that today and talk about some of the different pieces of functionality that you would get with Service Cloud. Mention some of maybe the competitors that you might be familiar with out there on the marketplace right now. And we're going to deep dive into that on the snippet today. But again, today's topic, Salesforce Service Cloud. Really think of anything from a customer support perspective, service perspective, anything where you're stepping in, helping customers out with no matter what you sell, what you do, whether it's a product, a service, doesn't really matter. Service Cloud can be a very important portion of your business to really help keep your customers happy and satisfied with whatever your offering is. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Zach. And Zach, I'll let you kind of touch on, I guess, really what is Service Cloud, some of the key pieces of it, and maybe even some of the ways that we've helped our customers put Service Cloud in. So,
okay, great. Thanks, Mike. So, so everyone knows what Sales Cloud is because that's what the standard Salesforce environment is built around. So opportunities, accounts, products, leads. And so that's what really Sales Cloud is based upon. Service Cloud, you could imagine, is based upon the service side of your business. It's built within the same exact environment as Sales Cloud. And it's built around case management primarily. So that's what Salesforce calls it, is case management. This can be interchangeable with ticketing solutions. So there's a lot of popular competitors out there when you're thinking of how I want my organization to manage issues, requests, tickets. So other, companies, or ServiceNow is a really popular ticketing software. Jira, Zendesk are a couple others, to name a few. I think what really brings a lot of customers into Service Cloud is that they're already Salesforce customers leveraging Sales Cloud. And so Service Cloud is a nice parallel in that it's in the same environment. So you get a lot of efficiency and utilization within your organization because now you're managing your cases in the exact same place that you're managing your sales efforts. And it's a smooth transition for anybody. If they go to visit a customer or account record in Salesforce, they can see all the opportunities, and they can also see all the outstanding issues or cases in the same system. So it gives you, again, Salesforce loves to talk about this, a comprehensive 360-degree view of the customer. So that's really the big allure, and why I think Service Cloud has been a big success, is because it doesn't require customers to go with two different solutions in two different environments and then have to build integrations between them that can be, costly and also just complex to maintain, whereas they're naturally managed within the same environment. So they are two different licenses. Your salesperson would have a Sales Cloud license. Your operations person would have a Service Cloud license. However, they can both access the same objects, which is nice, primarily. So salespeople can still see cases and all the data related to cases. They just don't have access to some of the additional features that a service agent would need to be efficient at their job. Likewise, Service Cloud people could still see opportunities. They just don't have access to all of the sales features that are on the sales side. So that's a nice thing too, is everybody can see the data across Sales and Service Cloud because it's all within your Salesforce environment. So Sales Cloud has a number of features associated to it. One would be, sort of what is the look and feel of this? And that would be the Service Console. So the Service Console is really designed differently than the Sales Console. Sales is, very much, I'm focused on this opportunity, and this is some of the related information on the opportunity, but it's simple. Salespeople, you want to make it as easy as possible for someone to go in, create the opportunity, update the opportunity, move it through the stage without having to fill out a ton of information all at one time. So it's really, while Sales Cloud is based upon making it easy for salespeople to enter information and move through the system, Service Cloud is much more based about giving a service agent all the information in one location that they would need to have to efficiently resolve a case or an issue or request for a client. So it puts more information in front of the service agent than would be in Sales Cloud. And because of that, it's more efficient for them to work through these cases. So again, that's what they're called is cases in Salesforce. And so case management is a big part of Service Cloud. Some other features is there's a case feed. So anytime anyone's entering any notes on a case, they enter it in the case feed. Anyone in the organization makes their updates or comments, they do it in the case feed. If there's any specific fields that were updated or activities that were logged on that case, that all comes in the feed. So if anybody ever goes to visit this case record and wants to know what's going on with it, there's a really easy to follow accordion list of everything that's happened on this case. So easy for someone to pick it up who wasn't working on it initially and get up to speed to know what's going on.
Zach, what about for like larger organizations, or if clients have a bunch of different types of tickets, or there's different priorities and things like that? Is it always just a round robin, or can they be put in a queue, or I don't know?
Yeah.
Can you automatically route tickets or cases to certain people based on certain pieces of criteria, I guess, is the ultimate question.
Yeah. So good question. So there is case routing and leveraging queues. So there's a feature that they've, it's been around, I think, for a few years, called omni-channel, OmniSupervision within Salesforce. And so there's lots of different ways that tickets or cases can be come into your system. So and so those cases would come through omni-channel, which I'll touch on in a second, but then they're routed to specific queues, which can be groups or teams within your organization. So large organizations don't just have like a single operations group; they have divisions within their operations group. And those divisions have different specialties in certain areas. So if you think of this as, I'm just thinking of a large healthcare organization, they might have, depending on what the issue is, they might want to route it to their claims processing area versus their, their medical knowledge area. And so depending on what the type of issue is or case that comes in or the request, if that information is detailed within the body of the case upon entry or at any time, then routing rules can route it to a queue, which is like a team. And then someone from that queue can then pick it up and then start managing it. So case routing is a very popular feature of Service Cloud and leveraged by a lot of organizations. Omni-channel basically allows these cases to come in from a lot of different avenues. So, and then go through omni-channel and then go to that routing of those queues. So, so you can have cases coming in via email and leverage email to case. You can have cases coming in via a telephone call. It can come in from web to case. So all of these different channels, and also live agent, which is, you have a website with a chat feature and someone initiates a conversation with you. So these are all different avenues or channels that people can be engaging with your organization and have those cases come into your organization. And then they're kind of all fed through this omni-channel view that allows a manager to see what's going on at a high level at their organization. So if you work in a large company and you're in an operations area, you probably have TVs overhead that are showing you, where is my backlog? Where is my bottleneck? I have X number of case or issues that are coming in that this department's working. This is on backlogs. This case has been waiting, over 5 hours for resolution. And so the OmniSupervisor gives customers a really clean view of, or service agents rather, if you're a service supervisor, you can say, I manage these 3 teams in my organization, and I can see that team 1 has a lot of case volume right now, and team 2 doesn't have much case volume, and so you're allowed to see that visibility, see what the wait times are, and then also reallocate your team members to different teams within your organization. I say teams, but that's really interchangeable with queues. So because of that, as a manager, you now can be proactive and load balancing your case volume and making sure that you're not getting a large backlog with one of your teams, and you're being proactive to reroute team members from one queue to another to help alleviate backlog, and make sure that that's helpful in solving another tool feature within Salesforce, which is entitlements. So within a lot of companies, they might have, certain, especially large clients will have certain customers that they have certain service level agreements with, that they'll respond within X number of hours to the first time that a case is created, and that they'll have resolution within, X amount of time. So those are entitlements that you can set within your cases based upon whatever criteria you want to have. Maybe it's by your team, maybe it's by specific customers. You can set those entitlements in Salesforce, and then also track that in omni-channel, OmniSupervisor against those entitlements to make sure that you're not letting anything fall outside of what you're agreeing to with your customers. So that's a really nice feature as well. Another feature of Service Cloud is telephony integration. So you can have, there's lots of telephony solutions out there. Salesforce even has their own solution for call routing. And so you can have a call comes in from a customer. It can have recognition of this customer is already an account in our Salesforce environment, and they're a contact. And so real quickly from the call, you can then automatically open the case. You can see what all their other outstanding cases are, any information related to this who's calling you. All that information is available. And then via omni-channel, which is a nice, the feature I've talked about, you can also set like sort of how many cases do I want my agents to be managing at one time? So it kind of knows to do that routing. So a call comes in, and based upon the customer, we know that they're calling about X potentially. So we're going to route them to this queue. And then that queue has about 10 team members who are managing those cases. Well, agents 1 through 3 are already have an open case. So I'm going to now route this automatically to agent 4. So you don't have to worry about your people, service agents, going into the system and having to search the queue to then go grab the case to then assign to themselves. Omni-channel will actually know to route it to that agent directly, because they're the most available for that specific time within the specifications of the case. And then additional feature with omni-channel, so that's like basically availability routing based upon availability of your agents within a queue. The other routing they have is skills-based routing. So you can say, within this queue, there's certain people that have specific skill sets. And so I want to route this case to these agents because this is their skills, and their skills align with this particular type of case. And so sometimes that can happen at the creation of the case, but it can also happen because, maybe a tier 1 agent picks it up. They identify that this case is about XYZ. They specify that on the case, and then they save it, and then it reroutes to a second agent based upon their skill set. So now you're getting it to the right people as quickly as possible to resolve your cases. And of course, something that we kind of forget about is like lots of companies don't even have, any ticketing solution at all. So, just being able to go in and have a place to track all of your issues, all of your requests in one single view and know what's going on with your customers is extremely beneficial, not just to operations managers, but to, CEOs or presidents or executives or salespeople. So Mike, you're a salesperson. I mean, how could that be beneficial for you to see what's going on the service side for your customers?
I do. I mean, I use it all the time. Just for the fact that if I'm going to meet with a customer or about to get on the phone with them, I don't want to be blindsided by an issue that maybe I wasn't aware of that was coming up, or that it just happened, or if they've logged any complaints, or they have, as you know, like with the reporting in Salesforce too, you can start to spot trends in terms of similar types of issues and similar types of cases. So being able to have visibility in any of those things from a client's perspective when I'm going to meet with them face to face or get on the phone, it just sets me up to have a better meeting and makes me more prepared going into that call or meeting for sure.
Yeah. And then the last piece of this, thanks. The last piece of this is Experience Cloud. So Salesforce is really trying to, for a lot of reasons, have self-service. So because of that, there's knowledge management, knowledge articles within Service Cloud. So, you have a sales rep or service agent rather who helped solve a problem. And now they want to document that of what they did to solve that issue. And they do document it, and then they put it into a knowledge article, and then they want to request approval for that knowledge article to be public for knowledge management. So now, if it's a public knowledge article, you can set visibility rules where I want, this knowledge article is applicable to these queues within my organization or these types of cases. So anytime a case pops up, you can have a side panel of these are all the relevant knowledge articles for the agent to have to know this request like this has already come in. Maybe one of these knowledge articles is applicable to you. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel on finding a solution. This previous agent already found a solution and they posted it here for you. So that's really helpful internally for agents, but it also can be helpful on the Experience Cloud side where a customer, your end customers now have access to your customer portal. So they have their own login they can go to, and when they go to that login, they can see any cases that are outstanding or that have been resolved that they personally have, or their companies has submitted. They can see any relevant knowledge articles that you want to post to them. And they also have the ability to log cases from that portal as well. So that's like a very vanilla view of what the Experience Cloud could be, but really how it applies to Service Cloud is it can be useful in that way. So if you have customers that, you're always, they do a lot of business with you, and so they want to have a login view of your organization, they can see that. And additionally, then you can put analytics as well for them in a view, whether it be a report or dashboard in their login cloud, Experience Cloud, so they can see, a summarized view of everything going on with their organization, as well as everything tied to Service Cloud. And there's a lot more that they can do via Experience Cloud, but I just really kind of wanted to touch on how it's relevant from a service perspective.
Awesome. Thanks, Zach. Yeah, I know we We use both the sales and service components within our instance of Salesforce. We have many customers that do the same, and it just makes, I feel like, everybody's job easier when it's a one-stop shop for all your data. So, and I know we're getting ready to roll out the Experience Cloud now for us internally as well. So that's good for us and our customers. So, all right, Zach, we'll really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for everybody attending. Thank you for joining us. If you ever have any questions around Salesforce Service Cloud and how it can help you better serve your customers, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're always happy to help. For Zach and Mike and all of us here at XTIVIA, thank you for joining for another CRM Snacktime Snippet.